I'd like to invite my co-chair Vishaka to come and introduce our next speaker.
I know we are all running late and we are all trying to speed it up. So our next speaker is Ms. Geetu Verma. She's Executive Director, Food and Refreshment, Hindustan Unilever. She has over 25 years of marketing, business, and innovation experience in leading FMCG firms, P&G, Seagram, PepsiCo in India and Europe. She joined Unilever in November 2011 and is responsible for Hindustan Unilever's food and refreshment portfolio, comprising the Brook Bond, tea range, brew coffee, Quality Walls ice creams, Kisan, and Knorr range of packaged foods. All the things that talk to women, right? Prior to Unilever, she was Executive Director Innovation at PepsiCo India. She is going to share her thoughts on changing face of women in India.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I guess the disclaimer about this presentation is it's only about optimism. And, to build on what was shared in the previous presentation, I think in the way, times are changing, in the way the confidence of women is evolving, I think there still remains a disparity, both globally and in India, in terms of what is and what is not, what is and what could be. But I think communication, marketing has an absolutely pivotal and a critical role in terms of being a change agent, in terms of being a catalyst, and in terms of really putting out those symbols of optimism, symbols which reflect gumption, symbols which reflect courage and conviction, the spark, nurturance, care, confidence, and that's what really sets the inspiration from one to many, and becomes really the transformative opportunity to make a difference in lives of women, both globally as well as in India. So, my first chart really begins with the depiction of the woman that was to the woman that is. From one of being inner strength, albeit in a sacrificial mode, to one that is an evolution of tenacity, physical and mental tenacity. What I'm going to do in the course of the next 10 minutes actually is just show you ads again. And each of these ads really reflects the various facets that I just spoke about. And all of these ads are actually which I love. I don't have any which I don't like. And some of these have truly inspired me, and some of these are reflective of the work that we're doing at Unilever. Before I go into those, I think the statistics are there for all of us to see, climbing literacy of women, getting into bastions, which were traditionally male bastions. We saw a recent article in terms of the number of women pilots in India. I was on a flight, in fact, last week, from Chennai to Mumbai. It was an Indigo flight, and the entire crew was a women crew, the pilot, co-pilot, the entire crew, and it really felt good. It was a moment of great pride. So the statistics are there to see in terms of how things are changing, and communication, of course, reflects it only too aptly. So, with that, a few themes that you will see through the ads that I will share: a quiet ease in her sense of equality, more confident, more assertive, the right to choose or reject, and ease at being in her own skin and in being a woman. So here's the first ad of the lot.
I want to show you something.
Can you have dim the lights, please?
Very nice.
Wasn't that lovely? Okay, this is the next one on breaking stereotypes.
क्या हुआ?
शाम को कजन की शादी पे जाना है। मॉम ने दिल्ली से ये साड़ी भेजी है।
तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
साड़ी पहनना आता किसको है? हंस क्या रहे हो? It's not funny, all right. किसको फोन करूं? मौसी को। साड़ी?
कॉलेज में मैंने सीता का रोल किया था।
मुझे तो पता ही नहीं था।
अरे और बहुत कुछ है जानने को। मेरे साथ वक्त बिताओगी तो पता चलेगा।
थोड़ा ब्रू टाइम निकालिए, अपनों को और करीब से जानिए।
Another coffee?
ब्रू गोल्ड 100% प्योर कॉफी।
And the next one.
अपनी छब बनाई के सो मैं पी के पास गई, जब छब देखी पीहू की सो मैं अपनी भूल गई। तन कंकरी नैन में लागी, नैन हुए बेचैन, उन नैनन में चैन कहाँ है जिन नैनन में नैन। इन नैनन में बस जरा, इन नैनन में बस, हाय नैनन में बस जरा, इन नैनन में बस। अपनी छब बनाई के सो मैं पी के पास गई।
Wicked self-assurance. Okay, and this is really, there are two ads here. It basically just shows you the contrast from what was to what is. And there you go.
बहन जी, हर हरी टिकिया में व्हील की शक्ति नहीं होती। नई व्हील टिकिया में है पावर ऑन्स की शक्ति, ये कड़े मैल की धज्जियां उड़ा दे। तो फिर साधारण टिकिया से समझौता क्यों? पावर ऑन्स युक्त नई व्हील टिकिया, दमदार सफाई बिन समझौते आई।
From this to an overt pride in your woman.
स्टाइल भाई, लाइट ब्लू शर्ट
हमारी मिसेस की गिफ्ट है।
शाम तक इसमें खूब माइल दिखेगा।
शाम को देखेंगे।
अब इस गहरे मेल का क्या करोगे?
अरे हमारी बीवी स्टार है, उनकी धुलाई दमदार है।
इतने गहरे मैल के लिए नया दमदार व्हील, ये दे इतनी गहरी सफाई, इतनी गहरी सफाई।
माइंड ब्लोइंग, माइंड ब्लोइंग।
This is another one of my favorites. Really about stepping out of a comfort zone, being pampered.
जीन्स पहन के नहीं आ सकती।
अरे कल तक तो तुम बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रही थी।
पड़ोसी क्या कहेंगे?
क्या कहेंगे?
और तुम्हारी माँ क्या कहेगी?
माँ तो कहेगी शुभ काम करने से पहले मीठा खा लो, काम अच्छा होगा।
अरे वाह जीन्स।
शुभारंभ, कुछ मीठा हो जाए।
And here are some ads now which are Unilever ads as we partner her in this transition. So let us.
जॉब, घर और फिर इन बच्चों को पढ़ाना कैसे कर लेती है? सिंपल है, माँ से माँ और माँ से मजबूती।
माँ से माँ, माँ से मजबूती।
और कितने साल स्कूल?
बाय माँ। बाय।
बस 1 साल और।
माँ जल्दी करो ना।
बहू, इसे पढ़ाना छोड़ो और पकाना सिखाओ।
माँ जी बस 1 साल
और सालों साल मेरे लिए दुनिया के खिलाफ खड़े रहने की मजबूती शायद इस चोटी में छुपी थी। आज भी इतनी मजबूत और थोड़ी मजबूती बेटी को भी देती।
सिर्फ थोड़ी सी इरादा मजबूत करिए, बेटी को 1 साल और पढ़ाइए। क्लिनिक प्लस।
Breaking male bastions.
In comes Siddharth, left arm round the wicket and Bobby tries. In comes Rahul. Checked off. There's an appeal for leg before. No response from Steve Buckner. It's a beautiful afternoon. It's Kids versus India. In comes the Hello, Krish.
சீக்கிரமா டீ குடிச்சிட்டு ரெடி ஆவுங்க.
ரெடியா?
அம்மாவை பார்க்க போகணும்ல?
செல்லம்மா சீக்கிரமா வேலைய முடி, நாங்க வெளிய போகணும்.
என்னாச்சு?
லேசா ஜொரம் அடிக்க சுஜு. நெக்ஸ்ட் வீக் போலாமே.
104 டீ இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் சூடா இருந்தா 108க்கும் போயிருக்கும்.
உடம்பு சரியில்லைங்கிற சாக்கா சான்ஸே இல்ல. 3 ரோசஸ் நேச்சுரல் கேர் டீல இருக்கிற துளசி மற்றும் அதிமதுரம் போன்ற 5 ஆயுர்வேத உட்பொருட்கள் உங்களையாக்கும் உள்ளிருந்து ஸ்ட்ராங்.
I'll skip this and I will show this to you as the last one. Most of you may have seen it already.
चाबी नहीं मिल रही। अरे यार, वो उसका मैंने चलते हुए बैग में रखी थी।
बैग में डाली तो कहाँ चली गई? वहाँ निकल गई। ढंग से देखो ना यार।
चाबी भूल गए आप?
जी।
आइए ना, हमारे यहाँ इंतजार कीजिए।
नहीं, हम ठीक है। देखते रहो उसको। इसको बाहर
सुनिए, मैं चाय बना रही हूँ, आइए।
करो फोन ताले वाले।
चाय की बहुत अच्छी खुशबू आती है इसके घर से।
आती होगी। तुम्हारे घुटनों में दर्द हो गया होगा, तो चलो अंदर बैठ के इंतजार करते हैं।
चीनी कितने लेंगे?
कुछ घरों की चाय में अपनेपन का स्वाद होता है।
चाय बहुत अच्छी बनी है।
एक कप चाय और मिलेगी।
जी, ब्रुक बॉन्ड रेड लेबल, स्वाद अपनेपन का।
There were many messages in this, but most of all, her emotional intelligence, she as a change agent, she as a nurturer, just comes through in entirety. So, given that this was a advertising, communication, discussion, I just used the time to share these pieces of communication with you. As communication specialists and as marketers, it is our job to know the insights, to know the trends, to convert these insights into foresights. But more importantly, it's about really picking up those trends and using it as a catalyst for transformation. And that's what all these themes reflect. So I will end with a quote from by Ayn Rand, and it says, "The question isn't who's going to let me, it's who is going to stop me," right? And that's really what the future is for women power. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker who has been here waiting and listening and framing his thoughts and reframing his thoughts is Mr. K.V. Sridhar. We call him Pops, as we all know. I don't think we need to say it. He is the first Chief Creative Officer at Sapien Nitro's India operations. Pops responsible for leading the creative strategy of the agency. Prior to joining Sapien Nitro, Pops was the Chief Creative Officer of Leo Burnett for over 17 years. He was recently named in the prestigious list of Hall of Fame of Asian advertising, media, and marketing leaders, past 40 years by Campaign Asia. Congratulations. And he's going to speak to us about the subject. Pops, may I have you on the stage, please? And I guess no presentation, no slides, or there's a pen drive.
I think, after listening to the research findings, it reinforces the belief which I have, which is most of the creators of advertising and even the buyers, which are the clients, 99% of them have very good intention. There is only 1% of rogue clients. We have 99% of the clients are like my friend Sanjay Tripathi, who has given me an opportunity and helped me in molding HDFC Life, where I used girls. I only thing which I used to do is change a boy to a girl all the time. Yeah. And a lot of clients, good clients have come across, they all have very good intention. I know most of the ads which you have shown as good and then bad, including some international ones. I know all the creators, most of them. That's because I've been around for 40 years. If you see most of them, when they start writing an ad, You never get a brief from a client saying that, let's portray women very, very badly in this ad. Let's show machoism in this ad. I think, the intentions are always good, and often I think that we are not sensitive enough as a culture. We take things very loosely, and often people who create content for media, they don't understand the power they have. Whether you are a filmmaker or a serial maker or a newsmaker or an ad maker, whatever content, even at times, we don't even care, and then we just tweet something which is insensitive and then regret and retreat. Only if we were to think for an hour, act for a minute, things would be different. We do the other way, correct? So it is just that is the biggest enemy. To me, ignorance is the biggest enemy. Most often, we don't understand the power which we have. And I think what really stops us creating something which will make the change is we believe in advertising, people believe that they are reflecting the society. I don't think advertising really reflects the society. Advertising's job is to really create newer aspirations for people. Advertising should always be a step ahead, because most of the great brands today, they are not selling their products, and then today the relationship between a brand and a person who is using it is far more like a mentor and a student. People are looking forward for brands to really lead them. So brands must have certain values, and then today most of the marketers are chasing and then trying to find the purpose of their brands, and then the reason why they exist, and then how can they make a difference to people's life. So that is where advertising is going. In this scenario of marketing, advertising, everything is changing. And also the internet, where people have an access. Dr. Mehta said that stereotyping, why stereotyping became such an evident thing in advertising is blame Doordarshan. In Doordarshan days, when we used to do an ad, nobody had a choice but to sit and then watch Bunyad and Ramayana. And then we were reaching out to people, almost everyone in India, and then we were reaching out to SSC, A, B, C, D, God knows how many more alphabets in that. But that is the reason why we have to aggregate when you are actually talking to urban poor, urban rich, rural poor, rural rich, educated, uneducated, haves, have-nots, different religions. So you had to aggregate everything into one. And that is where the stereotyping became much more evident. Most of the FMCG clients used to say that people don't understand whatever you visually show, you have to even say it in the audio, because people may not understand, because we have different cultures and different languages. So that aggregation, that kind of scenario has changed today completely. With satellite coming in, everything got democratized. And then what we see, what is supposed to be urban elite programs or the products are being seen by rural poor. Everybody is seeing everything. So that is what has created a little bit of imbalance and asking all kinds of questions. Today, with the evidence of internet, you can pinpoint and then you can actually target the exact person whom you want to talk to. Therefore, there is absolutely no excuse of stereotyping. Stereotyping is going to go away. Another 3 years, 4 years, the moment we have 800 million people who have got cell phone connections, out of which 270 are already have got access to internet. Imagine rest of them also get access to internet, the game will change, because you can send different message to different mobile phone. And then you can watch the same content tailor-made for you. So technology is going to change. I'm quite hopeful of many things. There are two things which I wanted to say as creators of content. You always have a choice. You always sit in front of a white paper. Nobody is forcing you to stereotype or forcing you to do certain things which you don't like, which is not in your DNA or which is not in the DNA of the brand. You have a choice, and then you can exercise that choice. When you exercise that choice, it's a reflection of what values you have. people can make a choice how they want to tell a story. Viewers have no option but to see what I show them, but I have an option to choose what I want to show them. So as creators, advertising agencies have an option, or as advertisers, to decide what they want to show. And before doing that, my request for everyone is to be a little sensitive what we are showing. It's not about the storylines, it's about the little subtle things which we show. You might think that it is very progressive, that a daughter is talking about her future to the father, and then you say that I want to involve the mother also in the decision making, and then you show the mother coming with a coffee cup, then everything is gone for a 6. She's not a decision maker, she's not helping anyone. So if you were to be sensitive to the images which you are showing, and then the little things detailing which we do about how the stories are told and how powerful images are to people. I'm going to show you 2 clips. Imagine the images, which you are seeing every day. If these are the images, it's not just one ad of one person, it's entire community of advertising and the brands which are beaming. And it is not that, the entire commercial. People will not remember the context, they remember the image which they see. People will not remember that a hero has fought and then killed many people for a good cause. The only moral which they remember is this hero has a license to go and then kill people. So what I mean to say is the images which we craft in our work is what people are going to be influenced by.
एक्स्ट्रा पैसे तेरा डैड देगा क्या?
नहीं, मेरे डैड की बेटी।
Ma, it's time.
Yeah, that's the power of positive images, and most of the brands which tend to portray positive images, tend to be more successful, because you cannot sell products to women telling them you look ugly, and then you have to be this, you have to be that. You need to be nice to them to sell to them. It makes commercial sense. You can't abuse women and then expect men to appreciate that, correct? So it is the fallacy of many people thinking that, that you are going to actually cater to actual audience who are there. Actual audience are much different than what is portrayed in many of the bad advertising. I think at the end of the day, if brands are little sensitive, and if people are a little more sensitive, the creators are sensitive, we will be able to make much better difference and also connect. It is not a charity which brands are going to do. It is for their own survival. They need to do it because women are going to be 50% or 51%. Money is going to come from them. It is in the selfish interest of them, of all the brands, to really be sensitive to this issue. With this, I end. Thank you.
May I request Vishaka to please come again and hand over a token of appreciation?